everyone, I'm here today with our Bible story from the book of Matthew. Jesus had climbed up the side of a hill when he noticed that there was a large group of people following him. He, of course, had his disciples around him who he was teaching and showing them the ways of God, but there was often a very large crowd that had gathered around him, and most of them were from the nation of Israel. Israel had been grown into this huge nation from one family a long time ago. And through all of the years, God had been with this nation and had been giving them instructions on how to live in the world today. He was giving them instructions on how to love God and how to love people. Depending on how you looked at the laws, it seemed like a lot of things that you had to remember to do or not do, or say or not say, or walk or not walk. It seemed like so much that you had to remember in order to love God and love people. And people were always trying to figure out, what is the most important thing to do? What's the most important way to be? How am I supposed to do all of this stuff? And it was a lot for the people to take in. Jesus came, and in his teaching, he sewed together two really important thoughts. So for a lot of the learning, it was all in their heads. They memorized and they knew from their memory all of these laws and things that were true and things that God had commanded them, stories and rules and laws about loving God and loving people. And they also knew about all of these actions, all of these things, what that looked like on the outside. But often what happens, even for us today, not just for the Israelites, we learn all these things that are true and we try to do all these actions that are right, but we skip the part where it comes through our hearts in order to flow out into our actions. That's where the real stuff happens. That's where the change happens. And so Jesus was teaching the people a lot about this heart stuff, the stuff that went from the head to the heart, so it'd come out in actions and not skip the heart. Now, when I talk about the heart, I'm not just talking about the muscle that pumps blood all through our body, although that is a very important part of our lives, don't you think? But I'm talking about the part of us that is who we really are on the inside, our feelings and our thoughts and our desires and our ambitions and all the things that we are kind of on the inside, the part of us that really makes us us. And that is the part that needs that information, that transformation, that thing that changes us inside of us. So Jesus was teaching about this. And one of the things that the people around wanted to know often was, what is the most important law? A long time before Jesus came to earth as a baby and then grew into a man so that he could die on the cross for our sins, God had been giving the nation of Israel this view of himself, this picture of who he is. And part of that picture was just how just and holy he is. He is perfect, and he is set apart from humans because we are not perfect. And so God set up all of these laws and ways of living so that people could understand that there's this imbalance between God and people and our relationship with him. When the Israelite nation came out of the land of Egypt, God gave the people an option. Will you be my people? And they said yes. And then he said, I will be your God. And when he did that, he brought to them through Moses all of these different laws on how they were to live. These laws are really, really important. We call the 10 Commandments. Now, if you've been around here at Rooted Kids for a while, you know one of our favorite songs is the 10 Commandment Boogie. So I hope that you look that up on YouTube today and have a little dance off with your family doing the 10 Commandment Boogie. You can show them all the actions. The 10 Commandments were God's laws that he gave to the people. The first 4 were all about our relationship with God and how he is holy and he is the only one we should worship. The next 6 laws were about how we can love one another and be in community with one another. Now, of course, throughout, if you read the Old Testament, there's all of these books that actually have laws after laws after laws of things of the way people were supposed to live. But many of those laws were about how to live in the world that they were in then, and how to stay clean and healthy, and then also how they were to live worshiping God, like what the requirements were to worship God when Jesus hadn't died on the cross for their sins. There was a very long list of laws and things of how they could worship worship and approach God. But this list, the 10 commandments, were the ones that were to be permanent, the ones that were to be meant to be kept so that we knew how to love God and love people. But Jesus says it's even simpler than that. Of course, there's the love God, but then when it comes to loving people, this is the big idea that if you took all of those laws and scrunched them together and came up with one thought, the one thought would be Matthew 7, verse 12, where it says, "Do for others what you would have them do for you." Now, there's all of these laws here. I don't know if you can read them from there, but one of the laws is, you shall not steal. Don't steal. So if you think about that, if you're thinking about stealing something, is that something that you would want someone to do to you? Would you want someone to take your things? Probably not. What about, let's go to this next one, lying. Do not lie. Would you want someone to lie to you? Probably not. You'd want them to be honest with you. And so that's what Jesus is saying, is that if you want to take all the laws of Moses, all the laws and the teachings of the prophets, and you want to scrunch them down into one big idea that will cover it all, and you want to just think one thought when you're about to make a decision, is this something that I would want someone to do to me? And if it is, go for it. And if it isn't, then maybe don't do it. So that's what Jesus was talking about. People who are citizens of the kingdom of heaven put that thought in their head, and that is the action that comes out of them. They think about that, they put it in their heart, and then what flows out of them looks like love towards other people. That's all for my story today. I hope that you have a great week this week. And right up next, we're going to be actually memorizing that verse together. And you know what? I would love to see you guys quoting that verse. So if you've got it memorized with the actions, get your parents to videotape it and send it in to me. I'd love to see it. I really miss seeing your guys' faces. It feels like so long. You get to see my face. I want to see yours. So send me a video of you guys learning the verse this week. I would love to see it. That's all I have for you right now. I'll talk to you later, everyone. Bye.
It's the Ten Commandment Boogie, gonna dance until I die. Ten Commandment Boogie, you can do it, so
All right, for our activity today, we're going to be actually memorizing Matthew 7:12. So if you want, you can get up and do the actions with me. I'm going to come up with some funny actions. I'm going to make them up on the spot. You guys can do the same at home. You can make up different ones than me. You can do the same ones as me. It doesn't matter, just so that we're learning what these words are and putting them in our minds so that they'll come to our hearts, so they'll flow out through our actions. All right, are you ready? The first couple of words are do for others what you want them to do for you. So for the word do, I'm going to do like this, like I'm building something. So do for others what you want them to do for you. Or should we do you? Maybe we'll do you like this because we want them to do it for us. What do you think? Okay, let's do that. All right, let's try that again. Do for others what you want them to do for you. This is the meaning of the law of Moses. What do you think? Should we keep that? Let's try it again. This is the meaning of the law of Moses. And the teaching, put your glasses on so we can teach. The teaching, I don't know why teachers wear glasses. They don't all wear glasses. Anyways, we'll do that. The teaching of the prophets. I'm not sure why prophets have their hands on their hips, but that's what came to my mind first. So we're doing that. Okay, let's try putting it all together. Are you ready? Here we go. Do for others what you want them to do for you. This is the meaning of the law of Moses and of the teachings of the prophets. Very good. Let's do it one more time. Everybody breathe. We ready? So Matthew 7:12 says, do for others what you want them to do for you. This is the meaning of the law of Moses and of the teachings of the prophets. Matthew 7:12. So I'll read it one more time. Actually, I'm not going to do the actions this time. You see if you can do them. Are you ready? Here we go. Do for others what you want them to do for you. This is the meaning of the law of Moses and of the teachings of the prophets. Very good. Practice that a little bit with your family at home. This is a good one to plant in our minds because it reminds us, remember, it's the big idea that ties all of the other things together. It's the big idea that really gives us an idea of what we're supposed to do, how we're supposed to act, and how we're supposed to behave. So if we plant this one in our minds and hearts, it will come out through our actions. That's right. All right, everyone, I hope you have a great week, and I will talk to you later. Bye, everyone.